Welcome to Life List, a birding podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. Welcome back to another episode of Life List, a birding podcast. I'm George Armistead with my co-host, Alvaro Jaramillo. Alvaro, how are you doing today?
Hey, good, George. Everything's super nice today. Another one of these, you got the drought. It's okay for winter weather. Let me put put it that way. Oh yeah, just nice sunny days.
You like the
we'll
drought?
pay for it later. Oh yeah, it's like climate change. It's nice and warm now here. So that's all right.
It's got its perks.
It's got its perks, but I'm joking, people. It's awful.
Yeah,
but.
Multi-decade drought, and Alvaro's in love with it. That's great. Yeah.
I know. It's so funny that we do like. Well, I know you like the cloudy,
I do,
kind of crisp weather. We have enough of that here in the summer, so having a bit of sun in the winter is not bad. But
yeah, that's like a Mark Twain quote, right? Like coldest winter I ever spent was like a summer in San Francisco, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, they attribute it to him. I'm not sure.
It's probably
what the scholars say.
Bit of an apocryphal story, perhaps.
Yeah, it's who knows who said it, but it's a good quote.
Yeah, it's stuck. That's for sure.
Yeah,
nice. Well, what are you seeing out there, man? What have you been
doing? We did have our last pelagic of the season. It was foggy. It was not, the kind of trip where everybody came back with amazing photographs, but on the other hand, we had really great close views of blue whales, and a Laysan albatross came by for, just out of the fog for a bit, went back in the fog, and nice tufted puffin. So, there were some highlights, definitely, but, I just wish we had more visibility. But you know how it is, ocean or any birding, the one thing you cannot control is the weather, especially if you've scheduled something for that one day. But end of the trip, bunch of the spotters and people that, went to grab some beers at the local brew pub. And that was a real highlight, just to be able to chat birds with various people and hang out, and, folks even visiting, from the East, and well-known seabirders, all sorts of folks were in there. So
you got good great documentation of the beers afterwards.
Yeah, nice photos.
Yeah, that was well documented. I saw a nice crowd there. Good crowd. I was like, gosh, I wouldn't even need to. I think I have very, very poor views only in life. Just one time of blue whale. So I actually I've never seen one. I've actually seen pygmy blue whale once, but not seen blue whale really very well at all. So that would have been pretty epic as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
But the gathering of folks looked especially rewarding.
Yeah, well, it is true what a lot of people say. It's birding is about birds, but it's mostly about people. It's the people you sort of meet, hang out with, encounter, and we are social creatures after all. So that's sort of part of what makes it fun, and to be able to sort of have that event after just a solidly good season of seabirds was just fantastic. You sort of to really celebrate, take a bit of time to just celebrate. Truly, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, especially lately, we haven't been able to do as much of that in the last year plus as might have been ideal.
It's really hard to drink beer through a mask. So
learned that one the hard way. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, nice. Well, that's great. Yeah, Kristen and I just got back from a nice little stretch down the Jersey Shore. No sightings of Snooky, Alvaro. I know you're a big fan of hers.
Big fan.
Yeah. But we did see some hawks moving, some waterfowl starting to pack into places. The yellow-rumped warblers have a robust presence everywhere along the coast. And we saw a lot of them, and Yeah, bumped into a few nice birds. Actually got to spend some time on the beach with some red knots, which may actually winter in the area there. So they're an uncommon winterer in this region. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, that was real nice, and it was nice. It was just the cool, crisp weather that I was looking for, even a little bit on the warm side, if I'm being totally honest. It kind of crested into the low 60s, and I was like, give me 40s, gray, a little nippy. That's, I feel like, when the birds really are moving around and active all day here.
You didn't see Snooky, but did you see the situation?
The situation would be a lifer. Situation would be a lifer.
The situation.
I feel like it's possible I have seen Snooky, but I'm not.
Really?
It's like a BVD. The situation, I'm pretty certain I have never seen. So.
It's hard though, because I'm sure that when you go to the Jersey Shore, like half the people look like Snooky.
Yeah, well, there is a little bit of that going on. Yes. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, but then we got back last night, and
did we just lose all of our listeners from the Jersey Shore?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
well.
Everyone's gone. Yeah, yep, yeah. We got back here to Philly, and I went out today, and we did this survey that we do every month in this kind of off limits section of the city that's federal property, actually, and man, just lots of sparrows, lots of sparrows, nothing really rare, but just high volume. And you and I have talked about the ravens before, how I just always marvel to see them here. And you see them barrel rolling and soaring around and having a good time. They look like they've been here for decades, if not millennia. And, before 10 years ago, they just were zero here. And, we just see them around now every time. And I just kind of marvel at it and enjoy it. So nice to be spending a good amount of time out in the field this week.
Yeah. It must be tough to be a crow when ravens are around, because ravens actually look like they're having a great time. They're just, like you said, barrel rolls. They have funky vocalizations. They kind of look more like hawks. Mm-hmm. They have a cooler shape. A crow must just sort of think like, oh no, these guys moved in. Oh man.
Yeah. They can't stand up against ravens. It's pretty tough.
No. Crows are pretty Dullsville. I mean, other than...
Man, you're harshing on everybody today. Harshing on the crows, harshing on the Jersey Shore. Man,
I'm just a Raven fan. It's not sports wise, just
not
Ravens wise. And the one thing I like about crows is when they sit there and call, and then they flare their tail and they do the whole thing. And there's this really distinctive. You don't have to hear them to know that's a crow, because a raven will never do that flared tail, bobbing the head back and forth when they're calling. But so, yeah, tip from the pros.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah, they are really fun birds. And the one we saw today was kind of doing like you were talking about, kind of soaring around like a distant golden eagle or something, and pretty fun to see that. Yeah, and it's getting to be gull season around here, Alvaro, and we are at risk of perhaps overdoing our interest in gulls. But you know what? I don't care. I figure folks that most folks appreciate gulls, and those that don't, I just feel like it's a matter of time. But it is getting to be a good time of year for gulls, and I know you got a gull workshop coming up and a talk on gulls as well, right?
Yeah, it's a 4-part workshop on Zoom that I'm offering sort of through alvarosadventures.com. You go to my website, and then it's the events, and you can find out more about it. But then there's this group called the LA Birders, and LA Birders is in Los Angeles.
Los Angeles, sí.
Los Angeles. LA Birders .org, and look for their webinars. They have a great series of webinars already there that you can watch, from identification to birds in flight to all, warblers and pidnacs and, you know, bird specimens and getting DNA from them. They have a really broad uh, number of webinars. So I'll be doing one on big gulls, the big white-headed gulls in California. And I think most people in the East probably have never heard of LA birders and that they have all this sort of free stuff available. So I would rate it highly. And also, if you wanted to just learn a little bit about gulls, that is happening. When is that? November 30th. And my
And it's
workshop
open to
starts
everybody,
on,
right?
Yeah, that's open to everybody. I think you have to sign up or something,
Yeah.
register. But and mine starts the 29th, the day before the Monday. So for the 4-part over 2 weeks, on big white-headed gulls. I like gulls, and I think the issue with them is that a lot of experienced birders like them because they are a bit of a puzzle. So they aren't simple, yet you can decipher a lot of things, and they also can teach you how to observe more critically because they actually give you good views. That's what I really like about them, and shorebirds many times. Like you can really get great views of these things, and therefore, you can either photograph or study them later, or look at very specific feathers, or look at really really cool things on these birds that you cannot do in a sparrow or a warbler or what have you.
Yeah, they are. I think one of the somewhere along the line, I think photographing gulls, I started to really appreciate that they actually are elegantly shaped, and they do. They have like they're aerodynamic, they're sleek, they're smart, and as you say, they sit right out in the open a lot of the time, often close, and can still be utterly confounding. Like it's not a matter of necessarily just getting a good look to know what you're seeing. You can have a fantastic look at these things and still be really challenged by them.
Yeah. Yet 98% of them, though, are
Pretty
identifiable.
straightforward. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing. It's like the average birder is scared off by the fact that gull watchers like to focus on the weirdos.
Yes.
But the weirdos are not that many. More weirdos out here in California, as we all know.
Guys. Yeah, exactly. In more ways than one.
More ways than one. But we do have a lot of hybrids out here, less so in the east or the Great Lakes area.
Yeah.
But good fun, gulls. Give them a shot. And think about the fact that you are getting great views and you can learn from that. And what else are you going to look for in winter anyways? Owls?
Yeah. One of the things I like about gulls in this time of year, is it really, it's you got kind of November, December, it starts to really heat up. January, February, really good. March, they're migrating. So you can actually really witness gull migration, noticeable movements of them. But if you get a flock of gulls, say it's 100, say it's 300, like you have a reasonably good chance of finding something sort of unusual. They're pretty high reward if you put in your time. They're pretty high reward. Often you get a decent sized flock. There'll be something else a little funky in the mix, whether it's a hybrid or something. Around here we're in the Mid Atlantic in the East. We're often looking for the Arctic breeding gulls, the northern gulls, the white-winged gulls, and or some of the smaller things like little gull and black-headed gull and kittiwake. But around here, a really good day, you might find 10 species of gulls.
Yeah.
And generally, there's always 4, 5, 6 around, and you can really put a good study to them. And it's sort of like you were talking before about learning sound. With gulls, you can, if you get your spot, you can eliminate the variables and sort of really focus in on a few species, get to know ring-billed gull, get to know herring gull, get to know, some of these other species out where you are. I'm sure California gull and Western gull would be mainstay features that folks could really start to hone in on, get to know, and then use those as a basis of comparison for other different things.
Well, the bang for your buck in terms of finding unusual things. I've been involved in one way or the other in discovering or helping to confirm several new species for California, and which is actually, not a easy thing to do in a state that, has a really big checklist. But two of them have been gulls, and they both have been right in my local patch, the, slaty-back gull and kelp gull. So yeah, you watch these places over enough time, you build up some confidence, and then when you get to the point where like, what is that one? That's little bells start going off, and we we don't accept Vega gull, the Asian subspecies of herring gull, as a species in North America, but once we do, I've recorded those here too. So yeah, it is a great bang for your buck in terms of shorebirds too. I think shorebirds are another group where you can look through and find oddities. And part of it, I think, is because we're looking at so many, right? You can look at 1,000 gulls in a day. So if it's a one in 1,000 bird, it might actually be in there. But can you actually look at 1,000 sparrows in a day?
Right. That's a tougher assignment.
Likely. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's true. We had a Vega gull here as well, on the Bucks Christmas bird count, that I've been a part of for a number of years now. Me and friends Tom and Jason, some Melissa, and some others have, we've been doing it on and off for years, a couple decades. And Vega gull was one of the most exciting things we ever found. I remember me and Tom were scoping out some of these distant birds, and Melissa's like, what's this one right here, practically at our feet? And we're like, whoa. It was a Vega gull.
Wow.
Pretty amazing. I mean, at the time, I think there was 1 or 2 records for the Eastern North America. Very, very few.
Yeah. And, for those who are looking through the book thinking, what the heck is a Vega gull? So it's considered a Asian subspecies of herring gull. So there's a European subspecies as well. But Vega is really a Siberian breeder, way up north, Arctic, migrates down to Japan in winter, for example, and then they show up in Alaska here and there, and have actually even bred in Alaska. But they're darker on the back than our herring gulls. Different wing pattern, tendency for dark eyes, and then the young birds. I won't get into them, but that's the general background. Yeah.
Big bulky gull with a dark back, and I forget who it was that coined, but they were talking about gunmetal gray eyes. I forget who was
gunmetal gray.
Yeah, gunmetal gray. Yes, but they're cool birds, and we had that bird on that Christmas count that I always enjoy doing. We go to this landfill that's one of the largest landfills, I think maybe even the largest complex of landfills in the country. There's several big landfills there, and so as a result, you just get big concentrations of gulls. Unfortunately, being landfills, they are largely off limits to the public, but been able to get permission through some colleagues there to go and census the birds there. And we often will have, 30,000 or so herring gulls in sight at once. And some days, if you watch them come into roost on the lakes there, we've estimated close to 6 figures, even over 6 figures of herring gulls. So we're really talking about an incredibly high volume of birds. And I remember years ago, I was there, but I was with Marshall Iliff, and he was trying to tell his girlfriend at the time what he was doing. And, here it is, it's winter, right? It's like 22 degrees Fahrenheit outside or something. It is cold, and it's usually kind of humid cold, but it is really cold, and it's kind of blowing a bit, and we're up on top of a giant landfill, and it's we've been out there since daybreak. We got there at 7 in the morning or something, and gulls are flying all around us, crapping all around us. They're pooping it's like we're dodging bullets, these things. And his girlfriend calls up and it's like, so, what are you doing? And he's like, well, I'm on a big hill. There's a lot of birds around. There's some precipitation. He's trying everything he can to like not tell her that he's standing on a stinking pile of refuse, getting pooped on by gulls in 20-degree weather, and that he's been doing it for 4 hours. And I was like, man, this really is an unusual hobby. And I have to say, it's one of my most anticipated days of the year, going to this landfill and seeing this spectacle of birds. But trying to explain to people what's so cool about it or what's so great is a difficult task. It's not easy, man. It's like, it's not for everybody. Yeah. I got friends that are serious birders. They have no interest in doing this at any point in time ever.
That kind of reminds me of ages ago at one of the places has amazing landfills is Florida, and the Space Coast Festival is kind of known for gulls.
Amazing landfills. You're really pumping it up. Yeah,
I know. Amazing.
Come for the landfills.
Yeah, tallest. You can go to the landfill and hear the Daytona racetrack going off. And it's just fantastic. But the birds are great, and there are, it's just actually multiple stories are just starting to pop into my head. But one of them is I didn't have anything to do that day, at the festival, and Jeff and Liz Gordon are going to the landfill to co-lead a walk, and they say, "Do you want to come?" And it's like, "Yeah." And then it's like, "Well, we'll drive you." And I get in to their car, and I realize they rented a convertible.
Oh,
to go to the landfill, and it was not the best car for the landfill. It's great tourist car in Florida, not if you're going to the landfill. But the other one was I'm birding with one of the locals at the Daytona. I forget what the landfill, Volusia County
right?
landfill, right?
Yeah.
And we're there, and it's actually really a wildlife spectacle. There are, wood storks and ibis everywhere, and gulls and bald eagles, like tons of bald eagles. And I say, to my friend and host there, it's like, do you know that Benjamin Franklin thought that the bald eagle was not the right choice for the national bird? He thought, it'd be that the wild turkey was more, sort of a bird that had presence and so on. And that he thought
or timber rattlesnake. Timber rattlesnake was one of his other ones. Yeah. Honestly.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Serious. Yep.
So in any case, you got to tell me about that. But so there's all these eagles eating garbage, and their heads are kind of brown with mud, and I'm thinking, I think old Franklin had a point, as we're driving through here. The eagles are not the best symbol. We're just joking. And then a whole bunch of turkeys actually fly through into the landfill and start chowing down. And I thought, nope.
There's no accounting for taste, is there? Yeah.
Neither one. Yeah. Maybe the blue-gray gnatcatcher would have been a good one.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Timber rattlesnake, I think, is a good one. It's and
it's not a bird though.
Well, that's so true. But as a national symbol, I think it could have been Could have been quite a good one. But
is that what it is on the the "Don't Tread on Me" flag? Is it a timber rattlesnake? That's a good.
I should trivia. Know the answer to this. I feel like this is like a real, especially given that Franklin was known for being from what city? Yes. I feel like I
think he's from the city of brotherly love.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like pretty much the most famous Philadelphian, arguably.
Well, after Rocky.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It was Rocky. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, who stole his story from the Bayonne Bleeder, but that's a whole other story. But I'm actually not sure about that snake, man. I'm not sure. I have to double check on that. We will do
national symbols though. Eagles do very well worldwide.
Yeah, we talked about the golden, how it's so popular.
Yeah, golden eagle everywhere. And nobody tends to choose like chicken-like birds. Nobody chooses passerines for the most part, except, actually that's not true. I mean, the the hornero is the
For
national
Argentina?
bird of
Yeah.
Argentina because it's industrious. It makes these
Clay-colored
other, like,
robin, clay-colored thrush for Costa
gosh,
Rica.
yeah. That is one
A little bit of a dud.
little
Yeah.
bit of a dud.
Little
Sorry,
bit of a
Costa
dud.
Rica, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of other ones you could have chosen over that one.
Yeah.
But maybe there's a story about it. Maybe it's this song or something. I don't
What
know.
I heard was that they said it was a good mother, and that was like, but that sounds to me like a story somebody came up with after the fact. Like someone was like, "Yeah, let's use that Mirlo. We'll use that
Yeah.
thrush. That'll be the national bird." And then later they're like, "Why'd you do that?" And like, yeah, they're good parents.
Yeah. And a lot of countries don't have a national bird
Yeah.
at all, or it's very. I mean, what is the actual bird symbol or national bird of the UK? Is there one? Is it the grouse? Is it the red grouse?
I do not know.
I do not know either.
Yeah, it should be the house sparrow, English sparrow.
Right.
Yeah.
Or that'd be a good one. A lot of Andean countries have the Andean condor, of course.
Yeah.
That's a big one in many ways, but I don't know what I'm sure Brazil must have a good one.
I looked up the list of these, but there are many countries that do not have a national bird. There's many, but yeah, golden eagle is the one that's got like 3 or 4 countries at least,
right?
Including Albania. I see, which is not one I would have known, but there's some good ones. Austria has the barn swallow. I was just trying to look about songbirds. I mean, that's not really, but
yeah.
Austria
has the barn swallow. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, considering it's found throughout the world, pretty much.
Right, but golden eagles are found throughout Northern Hemisphere too. So,
this is true. Yeah, not a lot of back half of the book choices here, but
I forget. I guess Canada didn't actually yet pick a national bird.
No, they have not. That's my understanding, is that they were going to and did not.
Right, and one of the choices was Canada Jay, and some people also wanted to choose Canada goose and common loon and all sorts of things. But they had trepidation because some of these are provincial birds. So, like, I think the loon is the provincial bird of Ontario. So why would, if you're picking sides, if you're a Westerner and you're picking the loon, you're basically giving a nod to Ontario.
Oh, the tangled web.
That's, oh man, you know how it is, East and West. It applies in so many countries.
Jordan has the Sinai rosefinch. That's a solid songbird choice.
Wow. The Sinai rosefinch, that's a good looking bird too, isn't it?
Beauty.
I mean, I haven't seen that, but
yeah, man. Well, yeah, that could be an episode unto itself.
Yeah, we got sidetracked there.
Yeah, we did. We went off on a little tangent. That's right. But let me ask you this, Alvaro. How many Christmas bird counts will you be doing this year?
Well, one or two, but not the full day.
Look at you.
So might add up to like half.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's a seabird watching and gull counting. It's sort of my. I've been typecast, like those actors that always get. He's the thug every time.
You mean that's what you're doing on the Christmas counts?
Yeah. I don't get to run around in the woods. They're like, go to the coast, look out in the morning for flyby seabirds, sea watch, and then count some gulls.
Nice.
And then that's it. I'm done.
Nice. Yeah.
I do my thing. I pop in there like one of those special agents, do my thing, leave.
And then you leave, and before you leave, you're like, my work here is done.
That's right. Yeah. But you see, this is quite a change because there were times when I would do 0 Christmas bird counts.
I was going to say, to me, this sounds like an uptick. It sounds like, this is
definitely.
actually, that was 1 or 2 more Christmas counts than I expected you to say.
Yeah, I found my niche. And I used to really like Christmas counts way back. And then I kind of lost favor with them. It's hard to explain, but I I always thought of them as this great, you know, uh, way to sort of get out and everybody counts the birds, and we have this sort of scientific kind of, you know, uh, everybody's out there looking at the same day, and it's a superb thing, and we're all united, and I think that is true in many cases. But I started getting this sense where people are saying, okay, you got to go in your sector. There's been this rare bird, this rare bird, this rare bird, this rare bird. You got to go find those for the list. And I'm like, well, hold on a second. Christmas bird counts aren't about the list. They're about sampling what's out here. And that's when I started getting this whole, like, I'm not sure I like the fact that I need to go, and I'd rather just go birding. But then, it's the whole thing of, like, if it's been done that way every time, to be consistent, you need to do it that way every time. And I kind of got pulled in these two directions of, like, I'm not sure we're doing this the way we should be. And B, I think we got to do it this way because it's the way it's always been done. And then I just stopped for a while, just and then kids and all these other things were happening. So it gave me a reason to sort of say, okay, it's like, it's a lot of time investment for something I'm not passionate about, but I'm increasing the passion now, knowing that I can add with my interest in looking out at the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where I'm kind of coming back in on it. But it's a weird, nobody's allowed in the birding world to say they don't like Christmas bird counts.
Yeah,
so I will be the first.
Yeah,
it's taboo.
Yeah.
But it's not that I don't like them. I just had this issue.
Yeah, so you and Christmas bird counts, you guys have sort of a relationship thing. It's sort of like it's complicated kind of situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe
that sounds possible to me. That sounds very possible to me. Yeah.
Was I looking for a way out when I had all sorts of other things going on in life too?
Or maybe someone's expectations were a little bit higher than they should have been. I mean, did you ever consider that? Or
maybe those 4 birds I was supposed to see, I never saw. So I felt like a failure.
So you're a little bitter.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I know that for you, Christmas counts are sort of like a joyous family occasion, completely the opposite of my dark, complicated relationship with the CBC.
Yeah. Well, it's true. I've done a lot. I average 4 or 5 a year since like 1985. And this year I'm actually only doing 2. Sort of constellation of events is keeping my number low. I will do my Bucks County PA count and get in there and get after the gulls. And then I like to do the Cape May Christmas bird count as well. And so I'll do those 2, but that might actually be it this year. We'll see. Yeah. But I think I have a Christmas bird count for you, Alvaro, although I must say I don't know which 2 you're involved in. So maybe, just maybe, this is one of them. It's in San Mateo County. Are you doing a Christmas bird count in San Mateo County?
Yeah.
Is it the Crystal Spring Christmas bird count?
Yeah. That's my home Christmas bird count.
Yeah.
It's and the one that my backyard is in.
And that, I believe, is compiled by Jennifer Risenga, correct?
I think it's compiled by Leslie Flint.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Maybe. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
But or maybe it's changed this year. I forget.
Okay. Well, put it this way. Jennifer got in touch with me and Holly Merker as she's doing a little research on the Crystal Springs Christmas bird count and came to understand that it was a count circle designed in part for its broad range of habitats that include 15% open saltwater bay and ocean, 10% tidal salt marsh, 5% exposed mudflats, 10% lawns and shrubbery, 10% freshwater lakes, 15% chaparral-covered hillsides, 15% farm and grazing land, and 10% forested canyons and ridges, and then, of course, Alvaro, 10% ocean beach. And who was the person that designed this ingenious Christmas bird count? Well, it was a man named Jim Rigby from the great state of
Pennsylvania. So I have to bow down to to Jim.
You see how I successfully turned that right back to me.
So I think, I'm not a numbers guy, but I think that adds up to 165%, which is roughly.
Don't crunch the numbers, Al. No, don't crunch the numbers. No.
It's about right. It's a really amazingly diverse part of the world right here.
Yeah.
Completely two different climates. On one side of the Christmas count circle has a different climate zone than the other side, and top of the mountains are probably a third. So it's crazy. Yeah, we do pretty well here.
Yeah.
But we're competing against a bunch of other circles in California that have a lot of diversity too. But again, that's not what it's about, right? It's not about the big list. It's about
the census
tracking.
Yeah. It's about an accurate census giving you a snapshot for that year, which you can then compare to previous years and hopefully future years. So you can document trends in populations, bird populations, right? But
it's also about the countdown dinner. I mean, I wish I could have gone to all the countdown dinners because that part I always liked,
Yeah.
Sometimes there was even beer involved.
Oh, yes.
Depending on the place.
Yeah. As a past compiler myself, I can attest to that being the case in certain situations. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's the part, the social evening camaraderie. That's a good part of the Christmas bird count. So I'm easing back into it. It's like, I'm sensitive.
You're just dipping your toe. That's as far as you'll go.
Dipping my toe. Mm-hmm. I do find that it's often difficult for me to pull away for an entire day to do anything.
Yeah.
Let alone bird for fun.
Yeah, I mostly don't do full days anymore either. I mostly usually do give half day efforts as well, or stick around till mid afternoon. Like we often say, it should be fun, and if it stops being fun, then you're not going to do it as much. And I think it's important to keep it fun. One thing I'm looking forward to this year is the same day as the Cape May Christmas bird count, which is just a short drive from Philly here. The night of December 19th, the American Birding Association is holding its unveiling of the Bird of the Year for 2022 at the Triple Bottom Brewery. So I think that is going to be quite a good time, a whale of a time, I dare say. So if folks are around and footloose and fancy free that Sunday evening, certainly should grab a ticket and come by the ABA event that night. Should be a good time. A lot of folks will be there.
When you were in the ABA, did you have any role in helping pick the bird of the year? Do you know how it's done? Is it like a secret hat? It's like actually a bunch of names in there, random, or is there some event, or do they go taxonomically? Is it like Wheel of Fortune where there's what?
Alvaro,
no idea?
I am sworn. I am sworn to secrecy on this matter, and yeah, that is something of which we do not speak. Yeah.
Gosh,
no. I'm not sure what the process is for that. I was around when that started, the Bird of the Year program started, but I'm not actually sure what the process is involved there.
I'll tell you this much. I bet it's going to take forever for them to pick an Epidionax flycatcher.
I think there's a good chance that you're right about that. Yeah.
Yeah. They seem to all be birds that have some kind of color or funky hairdo or something that, even average people would be like, what's that one? I think green heron was one a few years ago.
Yes.
I thought, that's a good choice because it's actually common.
Yeah, widespread, but kind of a funky bird, and people love seeing it. Bird. Yeah, they're like, whoa, what is that? When they see it.
Right. So with that in mind, you wonder what it could. I mean, I'd like to have to see a list of all the ones that have already been picked. But
I know kestrel was one year. Chestnut-collared longspur was one. That's like, more restricted range one.
That's a weird one.
I believe that Eevee was one when they added Hawaii to the ABA area. I think that's correct. So those are a few anyway. Evening grosbeak was one year. So,
Evening grosbeak.
Yeah.
Yeah. My guess, I'm going to just pull one. Great horned owl.
That'd be a good one.
There's been no owls done. This is it. And if what's going to happen if the ABAs listen to this and I've guessed it right, they're going to have to change because they're not going to want me to have guessed it, because then it'll seem like I'm in on it. And
you've
stuff,
ruined the bird of the year reveal party for December 19th, Alvaro. Do you realize that?
That's right. Yeah. Sorry, ABA, if I ruined it. That'd be so funny if it is great horned owl.
Shameless, I dare say. Yeah. Well, yeah, it should be a good time, man. I'm looking forward to it. One thing, shifting gears here a little bit. I know that there was a rather important development in the Chilean birding scene just these last couple weeks. That, legendary bird.
Yeah. It's not the there's an election tomorrow, so it's not that. It's not a political development, but there's this one bird that I would say is one of the least known species in South America that actually has a moderately large range that is so hard to see, and so few people have seen it that it's become kind of mythical. And it's a Fuegian snipe.
That's how you pronounce it.
Fuegian.
Okay, yeah, I got to say, I've always, struggled to understand it. And I've heard people pronounce it a whole bunch of different ways.
Fuegian. And I think you could argue, depending on what kind of accent you want to put on how do you pronounce it, but it's named for Tierra del Fuego, the land of fire.
Yeah.
Or also known as Tierra del Fuego. It's this Fuegian snipe is this huge, one of the big snipe, and very seldom seen. And a friend just a few days ago recorded the sound vocalizations, which had been written up way back in a paper from 1930s, like a verbal description of a call, but nobody had actually heard one and recorded one. So to think that a species of bird has just been recorded for the first time in history last week is amazing to me. And it's also the bird I most want to see, because
I was going to say, I didn't think you'd seen this one. Like, as the author of the Birds of Chile, this is one of the few you have not connected with.
Right. And it's very difficult, but now it's getting a little bit more tangible how to do it. And it involves boats. You've got to go to these islands offshore. Well, not truly offshore, but they're fjords cut up the bottom part of South America, and that might be the place to go and see at one of these islands.
They like little tussock grass areas, right?
They do in Cape Horn, but elsewhere they seem to like soft, marshy ground at the edge of forest.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's unclear even what they like, and they're tame. So people that do see them often have these amazing close-up photographs and videos of this thing that's never seen a human. And that is also appealing. See some wackadoodle bird that it's kind of like a kiwi.
That's kind of, I was looking at photos of them a while. I listened to the recordings that your friend Sebastian, I think it was.
Seiter, Sebastian Seiter.
Yeah, looks like he had 4 different recordings, and several different sounds as well. Not all the same sound, but several different sounds. And you like, not that you can tell what these birds are thinking but I had the same thought. It was like these things are, they got this big eye, big long bill. They do look kind of like kiwis, and they're kind of looking. They look like they're looking back at you, going like, "Wonder what the heck that thing is,"
Yeah, yeah, and they have like no care in the world. It seems it's just sort of like, oh, there's a big thing. I guess it's kind of a penguin.
A really big penguin.
They don't seem to, they don't seem to fear anything because they just walk around. So when you do get to see them, you see them well, but they're so and little known. And what is really kind of a mystery is that there are specimens in the museum in Chicago, which has the biggest collection of Chilean birds, that are from well to the north and in the winter. And it's thought that they might be migratory, and they used to go to these bogs up in the north, in places where birders actually live now, areas close to where birders are, but nobody has ever seen one at that latitude in the last, I don't know, I want to say 80 years.
Wow.
So are they still migrating up into there, and are they just not seen because birders don't go into those habitats? Or was there a migratory population that does no longer exist? So many mysteries. It's just, I think some of us love the mystery of the bird world, that not everything is known. And that is really sort of a poster child bird for mystery.
Yeah. And part of the reason these things haven't been like, despite some, like, how many people do you think have seen these birds? A couple dozen people, maybe 3 dozen people have seen these birds. Is it more than that, or somewhere in that neighborhood?
It might be more if a big boatload of tourists happen to stop at Cape Horn,
maybe
the day that one was seen. But
maybe the number of sightings might be a better metric there. But yeah, not many. But part of the problem is, even if you see, once you stumble upon them, the odds of them then vocalizing are extremely low.
Right.
So Sebastian must have put in some time and got lucky also.
Right. And I think they were all at night, which you expect with snipe in general. And that part of the world is super windy, and I didn't hear any wind noise. Maybe, on the recordings. So either he's really good at editing the recording, or they were windless nights, which might be the key. So you just put it all together, and it's just such a unlikely event. But that is definitely one of the species that I would love to see. And I think it's a pretty cool looking snipe too.
They are, yeah. I think they used to be considered conspecific with Andean snipe. Is that right?
Yeah, the James snipe, Andean, yeah.
Which is funny because they look, to me, from just the photos I've seen, they look structurally fairly different. But I don't know Andean snipe terribly well. So
they're definitely related, but then all snipe are, right?
Right.
In some respects, yeah. I did see in Japan the solitary snipe, which was pretty cool. That's a big one.
Yeah.
And it struck me that it did that little funny, like, moving back and forth on its legs like a woodcock.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I've seen that often on smaller snipe. I think they all can do it, but it's the big ones that kind of start doing that funny back and forth, the little jig kind of, little dance that woodcock do.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a cool one. Took me a while to see that one.
Yeah, I've always wanted to see.
I'm a fan of snipe.
Yeah, they're cool birds. They're hard to see. They're funky. They're weird shaped. They're they got a weird expression with those big eyes kind of on the sides of their heads, and a lot of them are secretive and hard to see. So they've got a lot to appeal to the the birder that likes a mystery.
And they're hard to hunt.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you know that's where the word sniper comes from?
Ah, I hadn't thought.
If you're a really good shot, you're a sniper, because you could actually, succeed on a snipe hunt.
Right. Whereas if you take somebody on a snipe hunt, you're basically taking them on a wild goose chase.
Right. Wow, there's a lot of bird stuff there. Snipe hunt, wild goose chase.
Yeah, man. Well, that is really cool. And it's very cool also for me to hear you pronounce
Fuegian.
I can't even do it still.
Fuegian.
Fuegian.
Fuegan.
Yeah. Like I hear myself
Fuegian.
wanting to, like I've heard people say Fuegian, and I'm like, that can't be
Fuegian.
right. Like, I'm not sure what it is, but it's Fuegian.
In Norwegian, that might be right.
Yeah.
Fuegian, right?
maybe. But yeah, Fuegian, I think I can hang with that. I think I can manage that. Yeah.
And there's a storm petrel with sort of the nickname Fuegian storm petrel, kind of Wilsons, that in the future may be separated as a species. So we'll have a few of these in the end, but it is from Tierra del Fuego, which, by the way, do you know why Tierra del Fuego is called Tierra del Fuego?
The land of fire.
The land of fire?
I heard this story. I feel like it had something to do with people seeing people from land holding up torches or something. Or is that totally wrong?
It's somewhat right. So the old sailing ships, the Europeans would, when they came in through the Strait of Magellan, the wide part on the Atlantic side, they would see these massive fires, right? And they're like, what's going on? And it turns out, now that people have sorted out what could have been going on, what's the indigenous population there, there's a super shallow kind of part of the coast where whales would often get stranded. And there was always whale fat, dead whales there.
Blubber
and they would
oil.
actually... Yeah, blubber and oil. They would actually set these on fire and have them going constantly. So it's constant whale fires that the people kept, as a sort of part of their tradition.
Eternal flame.
And, eternal flame. And that's what the sailors were seeing at night, all these fires from basically burning whales. And there were so many whales in those days that, it wasn't... it probably wasn't unlikely that there would have been multiple dead whales at any one time in some of these areas. So that's where the land of fire got its name.
Well, that is a place that hopefully you and I will be about a year from now. Hopefully we will see your first Fuegian snipe.
Fuegian snipe, yeah. I'm not sure we're going to the right spots, but...
Oh, we're not, but I'm just...
But...
Yeah.
We could light something on fire.
Yeah, well, I think,
we can do that on the beach.
Yeah, there you go. Make ourselves a little bonfire. Yeah.
A bonfire in 40-mile-an-hour winds.
Nice.
All right.
Nice, man. Well, we should wrap up here. Anything you want the good people to know before we sign off, Alvaro?
Well, I told you about LA Birders, told you about the workshops I'm doing, but check it out. It's alvarosadventures.com, then events. And you know what? I am looking right now at a peregrine falcon soaring right outside my house with a white-tailed kite beside it.
Oof.
Ooh,
wow.
What a way.
Hey now. Reaching for his binoculars.
Reaching for the binos just to make sure.
Wow.
Oh, and a harrier just joined them.
Goodness gracious. Man.
Yeah, it's
well, I had two of the three of those today, but white-tailed kite would have been a nice addition here in Philadelphia. Maybe someday.
Yeah, young peregrine.
Nice.
Well, see, it's good to look out the windows every so often.
You never know what you'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, good stuff. Thanks for listening, everybody. We will be back in the not too distant future with some more stuff. Thanks, Alvaro. Have a good day, and we'll see you around.
All right. Thanks, George. Bye-bye, everybody.